I'm Tracy.
And I'm April.
Welcome to Killer Spirits.
Welcome.
Here we are at the spirit part of our podcast.
So today, in honor of our acid bath killer, I've decided to go with a shandy.
A lemon shandy.
Lemon shandy.
I'm excited.
On behalf of the acid part of the acid bath killer. Although I don't think you could melt someone in a barrel of lemonade, although
who knows?
it doesn't sound that bad.
I don't know. Maybe if you left them there long enough.
Yeah.
This might be an interesting science project. Somebody let us know.
Oh, I pinched my finger.
It's got acid.
So for today, we're using an organic pale ale bottled by Sam L. Smith Old Brewery. Not the new one, the old one. And so we're going to do half beer.
That's a gorgeous color.
It really is.
It's amber.
And it has a fresh maltiness.
Oh, all right. Bring it.
That's all I know. So we're both going to get half beer.
Half beer. Bring it on.
And we're going to try two versions of this. I figured we could try the second version like maybe halfway through the episode. Because there's a little bit of a debate about what is a proper shandy.
Really?
Because in Europe, lemonade is not lemons, water, sugar. Lemonade is lemon lime soda, like Sprite or 7-Up.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you went to England and you were sitting for lunch and said, hey, I'd like a lemonade, they would bring you a Sprite. And you would be like, what the fuck is this?
That's weird, because
This
I
is
lived
not
in England
lemonade.
and I actually never do that.
I
guess I never asked for lemonade while I was
the thing.
there.
So our first...
Actually, I never asked for soda while I was there either.
Yeah, well, you were probably like broke.
I actually
You were
was
in college.
extremely broke.
So you're like drinking
a
a lot of water and eating crackers.
God, what did I drink there? No, we did have beer in pubs sometimes. Like we would go have Guinness or whatever.
Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't be wasting my money on soda.
No, we did not.
This has quite the head on it.
Wow. It actually looks really nice.
And we're also drinking these out of commemorative Stella Artois glasses
Stella Artois.
that an ex-boyfriend bought me. And after I broke up with him, I couldn't get rid of them because I liked him so much.
Well, as long as you got rid of him, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, half the money went to charity for the glasses, so.
What charity?
These are like... They're for different countries that were involved in whatever they gave them to.
Okay.
So my
Sounds great.
My glass is Kenya.
Okay, and mine looks like dreidels, but it's not dreidels because it has Delo Water Haiti on it. I still don't understand what Delo is.
I don't know.
Delo. Okay, I'm going to give it a
Mine's
whirl.
Maji Water Kenya.
Mm. Oh, it's oddly refreshing. I'm not sure who would ever think to mix beer and
Lemon lime soda.
lemon lime soda, but you know what?
It doesn't taste like a Leinenkugels, though.
A what-a-huda?
Have you ever had Leinenkugels?
No.
It's a summer shandy, but it comes like prepackaged in a beer bottle. It's
You've
like
had
a beer.
Summer shandy? Like you've had shandy before.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of shandy.
It doesn't taste like this.
Huh.
It's definitely more citrusy. This Sprite is not that citrusy, even though it's like lemon lime soda. It's mostly just tastes like sugar to me.
Oh, okay. And so what's the other version that we're having? Or are you going to tell us
Oh,
later?
the other version is the sparkling lemonade, lemons, water, sugar
Okay.
version.
Okay.
Imported from France.
And then
Sprouts
grenadine.
Farmers Market brand.
Is it grenadine?
So that's actually the French Monaco. So the Monaco is the beer, the sparkling lemonade with a drop of grenadine.
So you're saying there's 3 versions of the shandy
Tray.
tray.
But I
Okay.
figured we could have half beer, half sparkling lemonade, and then try that, and then add a little bit of grenadine and try that.
Oh, okay. How was you making me drink? My God, woman.
Well, I figured this wouldn't be too bad for a 1 p.m. beverage because in Germany they call them Radlers, which means something related to bicycle. They were or cyclist, something like that. And they would give them to cyclists while they were bicycling away.
I like it.
So if you could drink a half beer and keep bicycling, I figure we could drink it at 1 p.m.
I'm not bicycling today. I just want you to know there will be no bicycling occurring.
No,
at all.
I'm good.
Even though I probably need to bicycle, but I'm not going to.
This actually is not bad, though. This is good beer.
No, it's not. I'm actually surprised because I thought beer mixed with lemon lime soda was going to be pretty disgusting. But no, actually, it's kind of refreshing. Like, I feel like if you're sitting outside, a little summer day.
And the beer itself, if you want to try just the beer out of the bottle.
Yeah, let me try.
Is it's definitely nice and malty. They weren't lying on their label.
I don't know if I've ever had Sam Smith Pale Ale.
I haven't either.
You're going to make me belch. I don't think
just make sure you do it in the microphone.
Okay, sure. Let me do that. Oh my God. I actually am. Okay. So as we're enjoying our beverages, anything fun happened to you this week?
Not COVID related.
Well, everything's COVID related now.
I mean, I just worked all week. My brother-in-law stayed here for the week.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I started a new job recently, settling in. It's been fun. I don't handle stress well, I think. Or maybe I do. I don't know.
I think you're better at it than you think you are.
Okay, well, that's good. But we all know that COVID sucks. So anyone who is listening, if anyone actually listens to us, hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome.
We're so happy you're here with us. If you're actually listening to us, I got the bright idea to do a podcast because COVID.
COVID sucks ass.
COVID sucks. Even though I keep hearing people talk about how, but it's brought families together. Okay, and I find value in that statement.
Oh, like in the house families.
Yeah,
okay.
You're getting closer with your family and things like that. And I actually find value in that. However, I think it's actually, because it's it's made me slow down. I'm not doing so many activities
right.
And, we're in the house and, oh my God, I still feel like I'm going to belch. And I do find value in that statement, but I actually do also find it sad that we had to have COVID to get to that point where it's you don't need COVID as an excuse to slow down and actually be with your family.
Yeah.
Nothing on those people who say that because I think maybe we all just didn't realize.
Well, I feel like
I belched.
I feel like maybe for people with kids that makes sense. We don't have kids. So I already see Eric every day. And
I see what you're saying.
I can't see most of my family.
Yeah.
So I feel like the opposite of that.
Right.
If I had
separated,
kids here,
yeah.
then they would all be forced to stay home and talk to me.
Right. So I think it definitely depends on your view and what your life was already like. But anyway, back to my actual story that I was saying. Okay, so the reason I wanted to do this is because we both were totally in a funk.
I was I think actually if I had gone to the doctor, they probably would have put me on medication.
No, I literally was actually depressed too.
Yeah.
I would cry every day.
Yeah. You really had a rough time.
I had a rough time, and so I feel like we had somewhere to put our energies, and we got really excited.
Yeah.
So whether you're actually listening to anyone's actually listening to this or not, which I hope you are, and I hope you decide to hang out with us because it's really fun. But even if they don't, this was kind of for our mental health, and I'm down with it, and I'm excited for it, and it gives me something to look forward to and something to be excited about. So
something else to do.
if you are feeling that way, we get it, and find an outlet, find something you're excited about. I mean, that's easier said than done. I agree, but just fucking talk to somebody.
For real.
Because, I mean, I feel like we're so isolated right now, and I hate it, and this new job, one thing about it is it kind of made me start going back into the office more where I was working from home 100%. And in a way that has been good because it's like, wow, there's actually a world out here. But then you go out in the world and you realize people acting the same.
They really do.
Why are you not worried?
Yeah. No,
why are you out here acting the same, people?
It's weird. When I started going back to work at first, I kind of went back partly because I wanted to go back, but also because they asked me to come back.
Right.
Because we had somebody leave and I had to take over. But I didn't just come back temporarily. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm back now because this is like, shit is real normal out here. Like, you know, if you're inside, I was inside for like literally 2 months. Working, watching the news, working, watching the news, you know, changing my clothes every 3 days or something. Like, just depressed, right?
That was a lot. That's a lot of changes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you know, the whole world is hunkered down. No.
No, they're not.
No.
Mm-mm.
The whole world is out there living.
They're living.
And I'm just abusing myself being inside.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, we wear masks at work and we're safe. And we're as safe as we can be. And people get tested all the time. I mean, you know, I just can't cancel my whole life.
No, you can't. But also take it seriously. And
yeah, absolutely.
And
I think we should all be safe.
It does change our lives. And it has changed a lot of people's lives. And in some ways, maybe for some people for the better. And for some people, it has completely annihilated their lives. So, you know, we get it. We're in this together. We want to do something fun and think about fun things like murder. I mean, come on.
Well, and I'm doing my part by eating at as many local restaurants in our town as I can.
You're helping the economy.
And I leave huge tips because
Yes.
I don't want to cook.
No, I don't want
to. And I don't want those places to close.
No, I agree.
Especially
it's
my favorite places.
the best excuse to eat out ever.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're putting cocktails in bottles? Okay. I'll take that.
I know, it's so funny. Like, you go somewhere and it's like, you can't have any open containers in your car. And now they're like, here's a 3-gallon thing of margaritas. Let's go ahead, take this and drive home with it. Yeah. You're like, great.
Well, they had that in Texas. When I lived in Texas, they had drive-through daiquiri places.
What?
Yes.
I've never
It was
heard
like
of
a
that.
little kiosk, like a little coffee kiosk in a parking lot.
What?
But they sold daiquiris, and this was their getting away with it. They would put it in a plastic container with the straw and a lid, and they would just tape the straw down. I'm like, this is your don't drink and drive message? Tape the straw down?
Fucking Texas.
Yeah, and
they rock.
In our county in Texas, we couldn't buy liquor.
But you could go to a drive-through daiquiri?
We could go through a drive-through daiquiri. Yeah, we had to drive like 40 miles to the nearest liquor store. Can't buy beer on Sundays, but you can get a drive-through daiquiri. Just doesn't make sense to me. But whatever.
Okay, that's the one glorious thing about California. We don't have all those weird rules. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I'm taking another sip. It's very delicious.
It is pretty good. I don't think I would make this a staple in my life, but I don't mind it.
No, I don't think I'd make it a staple.
I think it'll be better with the lemonade.
I honestly, truly believe that true beer drinkers would find this horrific. Like, they would actually be like, you're fucking putting Sprite in my fucking beer. Like, seriously? I really don't feel like they would like that.
No.
I know Jason would like that. So,
but the original.
But hey, if you just want to be a little bougie and have a little shandy.
Well, and like, you know, it's only half the alcohol you were going to have, so you could have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And not worry about it.
Is Sprite cool like Coke? You know, like if you put like rusty things in Coke, it'll like unrust it? Or we don't know.
Probably. I think that's that phosphoric acid. Remember I was researching that?
I don't know.
There's the acid in the soda that makes it spicy.
Oh, yeah.
You know that like pucker
yeah.
sensation you get?
Yeah.
There's an acid that creates that I think all sodas have.
Oh, okay. That's why, like, my little guy, he's always like, it's spicy. I don't like a spicy drink. And I'm like, it's not spicy. It's just bubbly.
Flat.
But no, he's right. I guess it is spicy. Yeah.
But the original shandy gaff from the 1850s was ginger beer. No. Yeah, ginger beer or ginger ale mixed with beer.
Oh, okay.
And it was because I think they were like running out of alcohol or people wanted to drink it 10 in the morning or whatever. Right. It's like a early in the day beverage.
Oh, okay. So was this drink popular in like, you know, the 1940s? Or do we know?
I mean, yes, because it's been like a European thing for a long time, and Australians love it too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but it's like a German, British, English. They drink them in Belgium. They drink them in France. They're called a panache.
Wow.
In France. So, yeah, they're kind of beloved all over England.
Okay, but not truly
And
an
Europe.
American drink at all, because I've never actually heard of it.
Not truly an American drink, no.
Okay.
That's why the one brand that I can even think of that sells it here is called Leinenkugel. And that's clearly
Wow.
not traditionally American. I don't
Never
know.
heard of it. Okay, you gave me a lot in this glass. I'm not sure I can finish all this before the second one.
That's okay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were getting shit-faced on this show. No?
No.
Oh, we're just sampling stuff?
So, speaking of getting shit-faced.
It's only half a beer.
Okay, listen. I was actually not shit-faced last night. I was just, like, tipsy because we went and had, like, this wine and food pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up to, like, 100... Okay, I hope Jason doesn't listen. Don't listen to this podcast, sweetie.
Turn it off now, Jason.
Turn it off. Skip forward about 20 seconds. I woke up to, like, $179 charge. You okay, this charge. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I look, and I guess, like, in my, like, tipsy stupor, I decided it would be really a great idea to upgrade to an entire year of FabFitFun, which, honestly, I've never actually got that box before. But, yeah, it actually does look kind of good. This is not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
It's
You
not
could sponsor us
sponsored.
if you want.
You could.
We take free boxes.
It actually looked really good. So apparently, that's what I did last night.
Interesting.
And
I'm sure they tricked you into it with, like, if you buy a whole year, it's $5 cheaper.
Oh, I'm sure that was it.
And then you're like, well, I guess I need a whole year.
Well, it actually had these cute little. When I looked at the picture today, I was like, oh, I can kind of see why Tipsy Tracy was, like, super into it, because it had, like, these really cute teacups in it, and then, like, a cozy blanket. Yeah. See, now you're gonna go
so
look
random.
at it. It's the winter box.
I'll look at it.
Anyway, I don't think I should get shit-faced again. Though I wasn't truly shit. I mean,
We have to go get fair food still.
Oh, yeah. Tell them.
So, our state here in California.
Our state.
Are we being secretive about where we are?
Oh, they don't need to know the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We live in California.
Yeah.
And our state fair was canceled this year because of COVID.
COVID.
And so
The fucking whore that she is.
I know that bitch.
I hate her.
They're doing like a fair food drive-through thing in the parking lot of Cal Expo, which is where they hold our state fair. And they're doing like deep fried Twinkies, giant corn dogs.
I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
Probably like roasted corn and turkey legs and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like a drive-through thing, so you don't have to
No, I
actually be
definitely
around
want
people.
Jumbo corn dog.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, deep fried Twinkie is just something I have to have every year.
Yeah.
And don't tell me,
Oh, and funnel
anybody,
cakes.
that it's not good. Just don't eat it, and that's more for me. That's fine.
I don't think I've ever had a deep fried Twinkie.
What?
Yeah, that wouldn't be my normal like go-to.
The deep fried Twinkie and the deep fried Oreos, I think, are delicious.
I could do Oreos, I think.
I love them all.
Twinkie is too sweet.
No,
me.
it basically is just an entire sugar bomb in your mouth, and then you want to die.
You just have
But it's like a
diabetes
good death.
instantly.
It's like a good death where you're
Die
like,
the sweetest
I'm
death.
just going to go into a coma the rest of the day, but I'm okay with it. So, I mean, we're going to have like 3 shandies, and then we're going to go to the fair and have more.
We can have Eric drive us if we need to. He probably wants to go.
Oh, okay, he's driving.
Yeah. We signed you up as a designated driver, honey. Sorry. He hates that.
All right, so should we get started since we've done our spirit portion
Yes.
of our podcast?
Yes.
Now we need to do our killer portion. So, honestly, like, we don't really have, a specific genre that we want to stick to, because I love history, I love, mystery, like, whatever we decide we're going to do. And I also am really into paranormal stuff. Like, I was a creepy kid.
Were you?
I was a creepy kid.
Were you like ghost hunter kid?
No, I remember when I was a kid that I used to ride my bike down to the cemetery, and I used to just like hang out in the cemetery. And I didn't really have a lot of friends because I was creepy.
Aw.
No, but it was fine. Like, I didn't fucking care. That was the weird thing.
You didn't look creepy.
I mean, I had friends like later on, but like when we first moved to the town that I moved to, I was like 11.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of friends in elementary school. I got friends like later when I went to junior high and high school and stuff like that. It was fine. I had great friends, but like when we first moved there, I remember mom. Okay, if anyone doesn't know, we are related. We are cousins. So
She my cousin.
we
can.
She had this. We can. She had this, but we're like, I'm way older than her. Let's just say that. So she was not around when I was 11.
No.
But she had this pea coat jacket that had it looked like a sailor jacket.
Your mom did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was awesome. And so I remember I used to put that on because I love that coat. And I used to ride my bike to the cemetery, and I would hang out there all day. No one cared where I was, apparently. This was the 80s, people.
I guess you were pretty safe.
I guess, but the caretaker there like actually knew me by name and was like really nice to me. But anyway, the point of my story is that I was a creepy kid. I've always really liked cemeteries. I've always liked paranormal stuff.
We did cemetery tour for your birthday like 2 years ago.
We did, and I love it. And that's one thing I loved about my mom. I mean, there's a lot of things, but one of the things I loved about her as a kid, like she didn't like censor things very much when I was young, so she kind of let me explore my creepy side without worrying that I was going to grow up to be a creep.
She wasn't like, you're weird, stop doing that.
She's like, you're really weird. You need to stop reading this shit and all about these serial killers. So, I grew up with a healthy love for these things. So that's what we're going to talk about on this podcast in a general way. So today we're going to talk about John Haigh, the acid bath killer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to go over a little bit like what resources I got this from, just so they get a shout out. So, of course, Wikipedia. Womp womp.
Yeah.
You're so good. We love you. Also, there is a website called crimeandinvestigation.co.uk, which is really great because...
That sounds like really official.
He British.
Oh,
Okay.
it's like just a historian?
No, John is British. John Haigh.
Oh, yeah.
So, hence, he is on this website. Crimecasefiles.com is really good. Of course, Murder Freakinpedia. If you have never looked at Murderpedia.
Never heard of Murderpedia.
What? Okay, you can actually donate to Murderpedia, which I have done because they do such a fabulous job of covering. They're so good. So anyway, there's that. And there's also this other podcast that I listen to, and he's British. It's called Murder Mile, and he did a whole 6-part series of John Haigh, and he actually goes way into depth. So if you really want to hear more about him,
Deep.
I definitely recommend listening to Murder Mile. It's so good. He's so good. Like, I'm sorry, can I just like fangirl on him for a second? Okay, so
if you're listening, Murder Mile.
Hi. No, honestly, he's so great. So all of his cases are like based like British cases. And I want to even say well, okay, I'll just say they're British because I don't want to get it wrong. But I've listened to a lot of them. But he's so cute because he'll do like his, and they're really obscure cases. Like I've never actually heard of a lot of them. And so he'll do the cases, and then like the last 20 or 30 minutes, it's basically just him like chatting with you or like answering questions, and he'll like, let me open my windows, and like he'll go open his windows, and he'll just like sit down and make a cup of tea. And I just like, if you're feeling like you need to relax, listen to Murder Mile, because he goes into a lot of historical stuff too, which is really interesting. So okay, fangirl over. Okay. So yeah, those are really where I got most of my information from. So okay, let me start again. John George Haigh was born on July 24th, 1909 in Stamford, Lincolnshire. And he grew up in the village of Outwood, West Riding of Yorkshire. So that's about 3 hours north of London.
Okay.
In case you were wondering.
Is that like what they consider the hills of England?
I don't know, but they were West Riding out there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure. Actually, I did not look at this on a map, so I probably should have, but...
like, I'm wondering if
there's
it's like...
a lot of outskirts of things.
Oh, okay. Like farms or...
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This was the 40s, so...
everything was farms.
He was born in 1909, actually, so, he was an adult in the 40s.
Yeah.
So his parents were John Robert Haigh, who was a colliery foreman. Do you know what that means?
I do not.
I didn't either.
Does that have
I
to do
looked
with
it up.
animals?
No, it has to do with coal mines. Hi. We had a visitor for a second. You can cut that out. Okay, so no, it has to actually do with coal mines. And his wife, Emily, they were members of something called the Plymouth Brethren, which is a conservative Protestant sect.
Okay.
Okay. So he was an only child. So he was doomed. No, I'm just kidding.
He's bound to become a serial
no,
killer.
we know lots of only children. You're fabulous people. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I mean, some of you have some issues, but
Well, we all have issues.
That's
What
fine.
can we say? Okay. So let me talk about the Plymouth Brethren for a minute because I'd actually never heard of that. So
Okay.
I looked it up. It actually began in Dublin, Ireland in the early 19th century, about 1827. And the Plymouth Brethren got their name because their first assembly was in the English port town of Plymouth, more famously known as the departure point for the pilgrims who
Plymouth
made
Rock,
their way
dude.
over here in the early 1600s.
those are some crazy people.
They are
Who just
fucking
gets on a
nuts.
boat and is like, yeah, I'm going to another country?
Well, when your life is shit, that's what you do.
I know.
And
That's been
I'm
real
here
shitty.
for it. Come on over
Yeah.
because your life does not need to be shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, they were super restrictive, which doesn't surprise you because hello, I mean they were, what were they? Help me.
Protestant?
No. The pilgrims.
Oh, the pilgrims.
They were oh my god, I cannot think of the word. It's driving me crazy.
I just
Okay.
think of Quakers.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like they were like puritanical kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Prudish.
They were prudish as fuck. And that's why I feel like America still has just, it kind of is woven into our,
Oh, yeah.
because we are way more prudish than most other countries.
Oh, yeah.
And if anyone's offended,
British people are
I'm
call-
actually not really sorry because I live here and it's true.
Yeah, British people are calling people a C word all day.
Yeah, I mean, everything about
You say
them
that
is
here and
they're just
people,
more free
like-
about everything. So,
yeah.
okay, so they were super restrictive, and the Plymouth Brethren discouraged interaction between their followers and outsiders. And the church encompasses all aspects of social and professional life for its members. So basically, your entire life is this church. And if you don't go to this church, you ain't allowed to talk to me.
Oh.
Okay, so they actually did not like their, the people in the church to talk to outsiders. So imagine if you're an only child,
That's like Amish
you're
people.
not really having a friend.
I guess Amish people can.
Yeah, this is nothing like Amish people. Amish people are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
These people sound kind of cray-cray.
Hmm.
And if you're in the Plymouth Brethren, I'm sorry.
All,
I don't know if there's
all the
people
offense
still...
to you.
Are there
I don't-
people still there?
Probably
I don't know.
not.
I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe, but would they even listen to this?
That's very good.
Yeah.
point. You're not listening, so
Just turn it off.
Fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so by today's standards, we'd probably call them a cult because they were quite cultish.
Interesting.
So I actually read a great article from the Cult Education Institute because, I get spun out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like May 10th, 2014 by someone named Bill Redicop. And he
Rent-a-cop?
Redicop?
Oh, okay.
Redicop.
Gotcha.
So Bill, he actually did a great job. He interviewed a bunch of past members.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it still is happening today that people were in this church. But if you really want to learn more about it, you can go read this Cult Education Institute.
It's interesting.
I
I wonder if they're like culty, like, like other cults are culty. Like the guy just starts it so that he can have sex with everybody's wife.
Oh, yeah. That's what most cults are.
Yeah.
I can't speak for this one.
Oh.
But you are correct. All right, so Haigh himself actually said that his childhood was bleak and lonely, and his only friends were his few pets and caring for the neighbor's dog. And don't feel bad for him because he's a piece of shit. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that he's a murderer.
He will become a piece of shit.
I just feel like, kids with no friends, I just feel bad.
It's very sad, but yeah, no, we don't feel sorry for him.
I wonder, because, usually serial killers are sociopaths.
Yeah.
So it's like, how could you describe your childhood as bleak and whatever?
Well, I mean, he probably was. I mean, I feel bad for the child John, but not the adult John.
No.
I mean, I don't know. So in this article I read, there was a time later when the Brethren suddenly decided that there should be no pets. And so
What the
everybody who
fuck?
had pets had to euthanize them.
Okay, anybody... Okay. Any leader that has any power that says you have to put down your pets
Yeah,
is
fuck
a
off.
fucking asshole.
No, get the fuck out. I'm not. I
Who
don't want
does
anything-
that? Like, oh, I have to have a
apparently-
secret rabbit under my bed?
Yeah. So
Come on.
That's why this article was actually really cool because it gave a lot of information about that.
That's
So
bizarre. as
anyway,
fuck.
could you imagine your only child, your only friend is your pet, and then your mom and dad is like, sorry, Toto or whatever his name is.
Sorry, Fido has to die.
Fido going bye-bye. And no.
He didn't even like go to college or.
Yeah. I'm still not feeling sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for you.
I know.
Okay.
I feel bad for all the other kids that had to go through the same thing, but not specifically him.
Exactly. Okay. So just some examples from his childhood. His father built a tall fence around the house to keep out any social contact from the outside world. Bible stories were the only form of entertainment. Doesn't that sound fucking exciting?
Yeah, really.
My kids would die. Okay, they actually would just be in their graves right now.
Yeah.
Okay, even participating in sports of any kind was forbidden.
What?
According to Haigh Sr., the world was evil, and the family needed to keep themselves separate.
Well, they really did a fucking bang up job of that.
Didn't they? They raised him well.
Yeah, really keeping your kid insulated.
Yeah. Oh, he was insulated. As his father
Goodness.
had also told him that the blue blemish... Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. So the world was evil. And John, little baby John,
Yeah.
who had no pets now,
Yeah.
he had this blemish on his head, like a blue blemish.
Oh.
And his father told him that had been the result of him sinning in his youth.
What?
So that's why, because he's basically marked
That's
by the devil. So yeah, that's what his dad told him.
okay.
So he, John actually.
So I guess he bought into it.
He bought into it because when he was little, he was he was a child. So I mean, you kind of believe what your parents say.
Yeah.
When you're a child,
Especially if you don't talk to literally anyone else.
he talked to nobody. So he actually became obsessed and terrified that developing a similar sign of the devil due to like the slightest infraction like that he would do. He was afraid he'd get more of them. Okay. And
then everybody would see it and know.
yeah, and then his dad told him that his mother had no marks because she was an angel.
Wow.
So basically he was considered a devil child.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't feel bad, but that's still terrible.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I don't feel bad for the serial killer.
Please do not feel bad for him. Okay. Pause.
Okay.
Okay. So his father built a tall fence around the house to keep out any social contact with the outside world. Bible stories were the only form of entertainment. Doesn't that sound fucking
So fun.
awesome? My kids would die. They'd be in their graves right now. I can't even imagine. Even participating in sports of any kind was forbidden. And so according to his father, Haigh Sr., the world was evil and the family needed to keep themselves separate. And boy, did they ever. So as his father told him, because his father had a blue blemish on his head, and he told John Jr. that the reason he had that blemish is because it was sinning in his youth. He had sinned in his youth. So he was marked.
So he was honest about his background?
Well, yeah, because he's...
Even through all this?
Want to be like, look what happened to me, boy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So mind your P's and Q's.
That's like such a
Which
weird...
actually means mind your pints and quarts. I don't know if you know the story behind that.
Vaguely.
It's like, I think when they used to be in the pubs or something, you'd have to make sure you got before last call. So they'd say mind your P's and Q's. If I'm totally fucking wrong in that story, I'm sure
Somebody tell us
somebody
if we're wrong.
But I feel like I'm not wrong. Yeah. So that's why he told him.
Interesting. That's like one of those like weird fake lies that you just tell your kids just to get them to stop.
Well, I'm sure it was fake. You think he's marked by the devil?
No. Obviously it's fake. But it's like, don't do your face like that or get stuck that way.
Exactly.
That kind of a thing.
No, that's exactly what it was. So actually, John Jr. became obsessed and terrified that he would get a similar sign of the devil himself, like due to the slightest infraction. So his father also told him that his mother had no mark because she was an angel.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's nice. So,
Eric
anyway,
better say that about me.
are you unmarked?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
actually, I have a really big birthmark on the top of
All
my
right,
head.
yeah, you screwed.
But you wouldn't see it unless I shaved my head. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he was worried as a child that he would also get a mark for his own sinning, but realized as he got older, even after committing a shit ton of sins, he never got one.
He's like, look at me,
In
bitches.
your face, daddy.
No mark, dude.
Yeah.
Wish you knew what I was up to.
So he was actually kind of a little shit when he was
okay.
young. He would pull the stool out from under the elderly organist when she sat down to play.
Okay, bro.
What kind of shit stain does that?
Yeah.
Okay. He also chased a pig around its sty once until it died from exhaustion.
How did he not die of exhaustion?
I wish he had. The world would have been a better place.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. So he started to feel kind of invincible because he's like, yo, I ain't got no mark, okay? And so it's pretty much all downhill from there. I think he kind of realized that he had some.
He was like, these people are making this shit up.
It's
not gonna rein me in.
He actually realized.
Yeah.
He later said that as a child he had horrible religious dreams where trees would turn into crucifixes weeping blood, but who knows if that is true because he's actually a big fat lying trash ball. So who knows? As we'll learn more later.
Yeah.
Especially later because after he's caught, he really tried to use like the insanity defense and appear as bonkers as possible.
Of course.
But by all accounts, he did well in school and was awarded several scholarships throughout his academic life and played the piano. So he was actually pretty smart and he is a very good manipulator. Yeah. So you can't believe everything he said later about his childhood.
He's like, oh yeah, these dreams that I had. They're like, shut up, dude.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I was marked from the devil. Okay. So Little John grew, unfortunately. And when he left school at the age of 17, he took an apprenticeship at a motor engineering company for a short while before taking other jobs in insurance and advertising. And when he was 21, he was fired from one of his positions after he was suspected of stealing money from a cash deposit box. So, I mean, a normal 20-year-old, I might be like,
petty theft.
You know, sometimes people do that when they're young.
Because they're broke.
But then he continued to be an ass, and he was fired from another job for adding sugar to his boss's petrol tank.
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
No, that's very rude, though. I mean, you basically break someone's entire car.
Yeah, he broke it.
I mean, I don't know what you do to fix it, but...
I'm not sure how they knew it was him, but apparently they found out. So he then went on, he met and married a pretty, I like how it was, she's pretty.
Oh,
that's what it said.
You got to put on there, she's pretty.
I mean, I didn't make that up. A 23-year-old woman by the name of Beatrice Betty Hamer. And I searched and searched for a pic of this woman and could not find it. So, Beatrice, I tried to find you.
I found some pictures of, like, I think probably one of his victims.
Oh, yeah, there's pictures of victims, but I couldn't find a picture of her. But anyway, he married her on the 6th of July in 1934. And I did see sources that said his parents did allow them to stay with them after they were married. But that same year, he got sent to prison for fraud. Okay? So Betty was like, deuces! And the marriage did not last because she actually was smart and got out of there.
Yeah.
Okay? In one of his previous jobs, he had actually been selling cars that had not belonged to him, as well as committing other petty crimes and forgery. So I think he was like stealing cars and selling them. That's like kind of what I got from that.
That's bizarre. It's so weird, like how back in the day you could just like do shit like that.
They got away with a lot. I mean, there was no CCTV.
Yeah. Well, and also
no one was
like
recording you.
Is there paperwork that goes with this car?
Yeah, but paperwork was also a different animal back then, you know. So Betty was prego.
Okay.
And she actually gave birth to a daughter by Haigh, whom she gave up for adoption while he was in prison for fraud.
Oh.
And he was sent to Leeds Assizes. I know I'm going to mispronounce some of this stuff. In November 1934 for 15 months for forging vehicle documents. Now, his parents decided to pretty much disown him after that.
Okay.
And he gets out of prison and starts a dry cleaning business.
Sure.
As one does.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds like a front for something.
I mean, sure. So he actually did pretty well. He had a partner, but the partner died in a car crash. So, I mean, I don't think that John would have anything to do with that. I think it just literally was something that happened.
Yeah.
And then in 1936, Haigh was released from prison and moved down to London. And then he, started that biz. So he became, oh, no. I think he went to prison again. Fuck. Pause it again.
Okay.
In 1936, he moved down to London and became a chauffeur for an arcade owner by the name of William McSwan, which is the best fucking name I've ever heard in my life. I mean, Tracy McSwan. Like, that's amazing.
I'm Madame McSwan.
I'm Madame McSwan. So, one of the things about Haigh is that he was a charmer. He was a super nice dresser. Like, he really liked the finer things. So,
fancy guy.
He presented himself as very smart, very successful, and you can see the pictures that we post. I mean, he was suave.
He's got like some dimples.
Yeah,
he's got
he
a
was good looking,
sharp outfit on.
Yeah. So, I mean, he always presented himself as, very high class.
His mustache is gross, but he has a really nice haircut.
It was the style.
Yeah.
Okay. So he actually left his employment with McSwan and invented a new persona, William Cato Adamson.
What?
Adamson was a solicitor with multiple office locations, including London and Guildford, Surrey, where he sold fraudulent stocks and shares to unsuspecting victims.
He was like pretty savvy.
Yeah, no, he was actually a smart guy.
Yeah.
He was very smart. He was very good at manipulating people. He was a charmer. And I mean, he was really committing some like white collar crimes here,
Yeah. Those are like smart crimes.
Yeah. But then he got dumb because this scam came to an end when someone noticed Guildford was actually misspelled on his letterhead.
Okay, but
so like check, double check, triple check. Come on,
get a fake secretary if you're gonna do all this shit.
If you're gonna be scamming, make sure you double checking.
Yeah.
So that actually cost him 4 more years in prison.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Penal servitude. That's what they call it.
That's federal jail.
Yeah. So anyway, he was released in August 1940, and he was back inside within a year, doing 21 months for stealing. So he was in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, get it together. So about this time, he started thinking, you know what? I actually really suck at this criminal thing because I keep getting caught. And maybe if people weren't around to get me caught, this would work better for me.
Oh.
Hence, the idea was born.
So really, he's like a thief with like some murder on the side. Like he really just wanted the stuff.
He really just wanted the stuff, but
and the money.
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure that no one was going to turn him in because he was really tired of this like prison gig.
Right, because he's like, this is fucking up my business.
Yeah. So from here, Haigh learned about a French murderer, and I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Georges Alexandre Serret.
Sounded right.
Oh, I even did like a little roll. So Georges Alexandre Serret was an Italian-born French criminal who was the last person to be executed in Aix-en-Provence. So he was actually guillotined for double murder in a notorious case that involved him dissolving the bodies of his victims in sulfuric acid. Okay. So Haigh began to experiment in his cell. Okay, I just want you to wrap your mind around this for a moment. He experimented in his cell with acid and field mice.
What?
Okay, how the fuck did you get sulfuric acid while you were in prison?
Maybe they were using it to clean.
1940s, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look up like sulfuric acid in the 40s. Like, were they using it to like as like a paint thinner? Or so I don't know what sulfuric acid's used for regularly, not murdering people.
I just don't know how he got his hands on it, but I mean, who knows? Anyway.
That's innate ingenuity.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So he studied the rate at which a field mouse's body disintegrated. And so this is where his ideas started hatching.
Yeah.
You know, because he's thinking no body, no crime. And
true.
You know, I'm just going to dissolve this. Wow. Dissolve everything.
And then the people are just missing.
And then they just disappear.
And then he's like, what are you going to do? Like, find
Nothing,
him. Yeah.
Right? So after that stint, he got out and was a salesman for a while. And then he bumped into William Donald McSwan.
It's a McSwan.
Mr. McSwan, yeah. So in the summer of 1944. And Haigh was the chauffeur and repairman at his amusement arcades back in 1939.
Okay.
And on September 9th, 1944, the two men went for a drink at The Goat, which I just fucking love, in Kensington High Street.
I would definitely go to a place called The Goat.
And Kensington High Street is just swanky. Well, at least it was when I lived there. It's very nice. They then went to 79 Gloucester Road, where Haigh had a workshop. Which just the word workshop just gives me the heebs. I don't know why. Yeah. Like, I just feel like people are dying there.
Yeah.
You know? So Haigh was a little bitch and was tired of toiling away. And he wanted shit for free.
Oh.
As we all know.
He needed to live the rich and famous life.
Yeah. So he smashed McSwan's skull.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to say that. I was not expecting that.
Oh, no. He was ready. The field mice were done. He's ready to move on.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought it was like, oh, I got a job from this guy and then I'm going to learn stuff or whatever. No, I just fucking murder that guy.
No, it's murder time. Okay. So he smashed his skull and put his body in a water butt, which I just love that.
Water butt?
Do you know what a water butt is?
No.
Do you want to know what a water butt is? Okay, so it's a large container for collecting or storing a liquid.
Oh.
So if you have a large container around here, just call it a water butt from now on, because I just love it so much.
Could you pass me that water butt?
I'd like to have a water butt, please. Okay. So he filled it with acid, obviously.
Right.
Okay. After putting William's body in the container to dissolve, he went round to see William's parents. Of course, that's what you do.
What?
I murdered your son, but I'm going to come check in on you. Okay?
Just to make sure you're not checking in on me?
But they knew him and they liked him.
Oh,
because,
of course.
of course, he'd worked there before and blah, blah, blah. So when he told them that William had gone into hiding to avoid being called for military service, they believed him. Why he wouldn't tell his own parents, who knows?
Because he's in hiding.
But, he trusted John so much with this information, and then he went and told his parents.
There was no Find Your Phone app back then.
Yeah.
So.
And so he loves to forge shit. So he even forged letters from William to his parents.
What the fuck?
This makes me really sad. He even sent fake postcards to them from Scotland, pretending to be their son.
So he went all the way to Scotland to send postcards?
He must have.
What a crazy person.
Like, that just... breaks my heart.
That's
so
bizarre.
Hard. Like, his parents thinking that he's just safe and is somewhere,
And they're like, oh, we got a postcard.
Anyway, this is why he's a big fat trash ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So on July 2nd, 1945, it gets bad.
Okay, but before it gets really bad, can we have another beverage?
I think we actually need a beverage. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, I've been done.
Okay.
I also drink the extra beer out of
well,
the bottle.
Well, I'm talking over here.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So, we're going to try the half beer, half sparkling lemonade. Here, I'll take that. And then we'll try the Monaco, which is with the grenadine.
So this is not just regular lemonade. This is sparkling lemonade?
This is sparkling lemonade, which is actually the French version of it.
En français.
Because... still lemonade is just like, what are we doing here?
We're just some water with a lemon in it.
Yeah, it's just making your beer half flat.
Throw a couple grains of, I almost said salt, but a couple grains of sugar in there.
So yeah, I just figured the sparkling would at least keep the...
Yeah. Did you ever have, any old people when you were young, serve you lemonade, but they'd forgotten to put the sugar in? I feel like that happened to me as a youth.
No.
Here's some lemonade, sweetie. And then you get it and you're like, what the hell? This has no sugar.
No, I don't think any old person's ever served me lemonade.
Oh, wow. What kind of life have you had? You're losing out.
My grandma was an iced tea drinker.
Oh, yeah.
So it's sweet tea.
I remember Mom used to put out, sun tea.
Oh, yeah. I still put out sun tea.
Yeah.
I don't know why it tastes so good.
Just so funny. I actually read Kathy Reichs?
No.
Pretty sure it was one of her books. Her main character put out sun tea and then someone poisoned it and then she drank it.
What?
So don't put out sun tea unsupervised, people.
I used to put it on my front porch.
That's not a good idea. Okay. So I would clink glasses with you, but you're too far away. Okay. Okay, so...
This is more heady than the last one.
This is definitely heady. Is it going to make me heady?
I don't know what that means.
You know, spinny. Head spinny.
Mm-mm.
I think I actually like the last one better.
Oh.
What do you think? This one's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It tastes like
It's more beery.
it's dank.
It's dank.
It feels danky. Like it tastes dank. You know what I mean? Kind of like mossy. Does that make sense?
Like peaty.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Some people like their scotches like that.
Yeah, and I'm not a
I think
Scotch
they're
drinker.
disgusting.
All right, so
Well, do we want to try the Monaco then? We'll try with a little grenadine since we've...
yeah.
Okay.
So you just pour grenadine in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would taste better with grenadine.
Just do like a...
A little shot.
Just a little
Ooh, now
drop.
see that looks really pretty when you do that.
Well, because the grenadine is pomegranate syrup.
Grenadine is pomegranate syrup? I actually
think
didn't
so.
know that.
Cocktail
Oh,
syrup. But I think pomegranate's supposed to be the flavor. Although I think it's just sugar water with coloring in it.
Wow, way to rain on the parade of...
I don't think it's really like pomegranate juice or anything.
I actually never knew grenadine had anything to do with pomegranates.
I think
It makes it a really pretty color. Okay, I'm taking a drink. Oh, I don't know.
No?
I honestly feel like your first concoction was the best.
Really?
And I love grenadine, but that just seems kind of
maybe
wacky.
the Brits have it right.
I think the Brits usually always have it right, except for when they pumped out John Haigh. But America's
that's
pumped
bizarre.
out a
That
bunch of
tastes
their own
like-
trash balls, too, so...
Yeah, that tastes like cough syrup.
Yes, that's
cherry-
exactly what it is.
Cherry cough
Are you
syrup.
sure that's grenadine?
Yes.
Because grenadine is like what you put in Shirley Temples, and it tastes delicious.
That's what it is. But maybe it has something to do with the Sprite that's in the Shirley Temple.
Oh, wow, good point. Okay, so if you actually want to have a good shandy, we recommend the first concoction.
With Sprite.
So it was just Sprite and beer.
Sprite and beer.
So can you use any kind of beer or just pale ale?
I think it's any kind of beer, but what would be better is a darker beer.
Oh, okay.
So I think traditionally it's the English like brown ale
Okay.
is the norm, because it wouldn't make sense to have a light beer or like an amber or something and then dilute it halfway with soda
Okay.
because it's already lighter.
Okay,
flavor.
well, now that you've served me cough syrup,
Now that we're stuck with this damn cough syrup,
we're going to go on to the bad part.
I'll just
well,
drink the rest
actually,
of the
the
beer out
rest
of
is
the
just
bottle.
bad, so FYI.
Okay.
You're just going to drink beer now?
Yeah. I'll just drink the rest of the beer in the bottle.
Okay, so you remember the McSwans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
The parents.
Yeah, and if you forgot...
Did he have a wife, children? Or no?
I didn't read anything
Oh,
about that.
okay.
I think it was just him and then
Probably
his
not, because they would
parents.
have noticed.
Right. So he actually lured the McSwans, the parents, the older parents, to his basement, and he killed them in the same way that he killed their son.
Were they like, maybe they were starting to get suspicious.
And honestly, nothing good happens in a basement. I just want everyone to understand that a basement is a bad, bad word.
Unless it's like a finished basement with a nice TV.
No, I don't
and-
like the word basement.
No.
I feel like attic is creepy, basement is creepy. And you know, I mean, we don't have a lot of basements in California anymore.
don't.
Like in the olden days they had some, but
My parents have one.
yeah. I mean, I think like in a lot of other states they have basements because, you know, they like
The
things-
tornadoes.
the tornadoes come through, but we don't have that. And you don't really want to be in a basement, I think, when there's an earthquake. So,
I think that's the opposite.
that's the opposite of where you want to
I think
be.
you're supposed to like go outside and run around.
But anyway, basements creep me out.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he killed him in a basement is basements are bad, okay? So
But they're
he,
private.
Yeah. So at this point, he actually upped his game and he procured new equipment to deal with dissolving the bodies. A stirrup pump.
What a...
I don't know. It's something that he used. It's a pump thing, probably to like pump.
Pump the acid
Liquid,
into the
yeah.
one thing.
He made DIY tin face masks, and there's some pictures of his face masks. They're actually really creepy.
I've seen those. They're on like a... They're like a drawing.
Yeah, we'll post that
Yeah.
because I saw that and I was like, ugh.
We'll put it on the Twitter and the Instagrams.
Instagrams. And he even made a bathtub made of steel and painted it to make it more resistant to corrosion.
So I do know this from Breaking Bad. Did you ever see Breaking Bad?
No.
Okay. So in one of the episodes, I mean, spoiler, it came out like 10 years ago or something. So anybody who's mad that they haven't seen it yet, you're dumb.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. He dissolved somebody in a bathtub, an actual bathtub upstairs with, I don't know that it was sulfuric acid, but it was something acid. But the bathtub was ceramic.
Oh.
And so the acid ate through the bathtub, through the second floor, and the whole bathtub fell into the first floor, and it was all like half dissolved body goo.
And then people saw what he did.
I mean, probably, how do you hide that?
I don't know. I was just saying.
I mean, it was at some, he was living at his aunt's house or whatever. It was in a house.
Oh, I see. It was in a house.
So like nobody outside.
For some reason,
it.
I was thinking it was like a hotel, but yeah.
But yeah, so ceramic doesn't work if you're going to melt somebody with acid. You have to have a steel or plastic container.
Wow. So yeah, he did all that stuff because, you know, he had a whole little business thing happening here. And according to a police statement, before he hit upon his plan to kill the McSwans, the sweet little old McSwans, he had already murdered a middle-aged woman from Hammersmith, but I couldn't find any record of her name. But he actually did murder someone in between those two. And he also claimed to the police later that he drank their blood. But again, he was trying to say that he was cuckoo bananas.
Right.
And they don't know if that's true. But he did claim that later, that he drank their blood. I personally, my own personal belief is that he did not. And that he truly just had a plan. Like, he just wanted the goods and he wanted to get rid of the bodies.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound like murder was the first thing on his agenda.
Yeah. So then he goes back to the McSwan's landlady, because, you know, he's got to tie up loose ends.
Oh, my God.
And he told them that he told the landlady that the couple went to America.
First of all, I would be like, who are you? Why are you telling me?
Sorry, you smartly dressed man.
Yeah.
What are you doing here telling me this? Why do I care?
My tenants tell me that they were moving out, and why is all their shit still here?
Well, he needed to make sure that people thought they were okay because he had all of their mail forwarded to him, including their pension. You know, he's smart like that.
Okay.
He set about forging their son's signature on a power of attorney form, and by forging a deed on a property owned by Mrs. McSwan, and also appropriating it into a false name. So he was getting all their stuff.
Wow.
He stole William McSwan's pension checks, and I love when checks are spelled with a QU because that's just the best, and sold their properties, and he stole about 8,000 pounds. And so I guess if we adjust that for now, it's about 256,000.
Okay, that's a good chunk.
It's a good chunk. And then he moved into the Onslow Court Hotel in Kensington. And like I said, Kensington was a pretty nice area. It still is a nice area.
Wasn't that like the Queen has something to do with the Queen?
Kensington Palace is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nice place. So for a while, Haigh managed to swindle people through a variety of scams, including posing as a liaison officer, dealing with patents, and setting up fake branches in several towns. And it was also around this time that he later claimed in a police confession that he had killed and disposed of a young man called Max from Kensington. But there's no more information on Max. So,
interesting.
I know. So by the summer of 1947, Haigh, who was a gambler, was running short of money. Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're staying in a posh hotel in Kensington. You're a degenerate gambler, and you only had $250,000.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to blow through that. I mean, even by today's standards, it's not a shit ton of money,
No.
you know?
It's not like $8 million.
Exactly. So he met Dr. Archibald Henderson, which is also a fabulous name, and who was 52, and his wife Rose, who was 41, and I love the name Rose. So they were selling their home under the guy. They were selling their home, and he met them because he acted like he wanted to buy their house. They listed the house, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm a super suave, smartly dressed man, and I really just love this house. I'd like to buy it." So he was very good at cultivating relationships with people, which he did with this couple. And he kind of cultivated that based on a shared passion for music. And he encouraged them to reveal information about their properties.
Interesting.
And renting a storehouse on Leopold Road in Crawley, London, he moved his possessions from Gloucester Street and began setting up his obscene workshop once again.
Ew.
It was obscene.
That sounds obscene.
Just so you know, it's not just a workshop.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's an
It's not
obscene.
just a workshop. It's an obscene workshop.
I mean, it is a murder workshop, so I
Yeah.
could see that.
Okay, I need a drink of this cough syrup. Hold
Yeah.
on.
We should just pour these out and just have the first thing.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Don't make this at home, folks. Okay.
Yeah, the Monaco is
The
trash.
Monaco is no bueno.
Yeah.
Okay, so his obscene workshop. So this time he ordered 3 carboys, and I'm not. Well, okay. I'm
Ooh,
not sure
I
what
saw
a
pictures of those.
carboy is, but I think it's like a.
It's like what you brew
Yeah.
beer in. It's like the big
Okay.
glass goblet
Yeah,
on the
the big
bottom,
ones. Okay.
and then skinny thing on the top.
So he ordered 3 of those of sulfuric acid and 2 40-gallon drums without tops. And on February 12th, 1948, he drove Dr. Henderson to Crawley, where his obscene workshop was located, and shot him in the head with the doctor's own revolver.
Nice.
I mean, trash. Okay, so he then left the body in the storeroom and set off to get Mrs. Henderson. Okay? And after some reluctance, because she probably was a smart lady and thought, this is weird.
Yeah. Where's my husband?
Yeah. She was driven to the storehouse, and who knows what he told her to get her there. You know, who knows. He shot her from behind after trussing up both her and her husband's bodies, left them overnight. So he just kind of like, tied them up and left them there.
Mm-hmm.
He later claimed to the police that he drank blood from them both, but
Who knows?
who knows with him. He dissolved both bodies in acid, but this time it didn't erase all traces, because it doesn't always dissolve
All the way.
I almost said morsel, but
Ew.
it doesn't dissolve everything. Okay.
Does it dissolve teeth?
Not all. It just depends.
Oh.
Not all. But this time, Mr. Henderson's foot was left intact. Okay. So this didn't actually seem to bother him too much, because he was like, oh, well, there's a foot here. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he dumped all the remains, including the foot, in the corner of his yard.
Bro.
Okay. He was just probably thinking, well, you don't have a whole body, so
Yeah, what are you going to do?
what you gonna do?
Who's worried about a foot, you know?
So, efforts to maintain the impression that the Hendersons were still alive, because, that's like his MO. He's got to make sure they're still alive, because he needs their money, were methodical and time-consuming. So he put a lot of energy into this.
Did he start living in their house?
Well, let's see.
Oh,
We
we're
shall
getting there.
see.
Okay.
I shall tell you all. So Haigh even forged letters by Rose Henderson, writing a lengthy letter to her brother. Like, this just seems so down low to me. Like, making family members feel that you're still alive. Like, it just, for some reason, that bothers me
weird.
on such a deep level.
Well, yeah, why can't you just be like, I don't know.
Yeah. After selling
talk
their
to me.
properties and possessions, he acquired around $8,000 again. And then in 1948, that amount was equivalent, like we said before, like $246 or so. I mean, I think that's just a rough estimate. He gave his girlfriend Barbara, so he had a girlfriend during this time. Barb. Didn't you see what's going on, Barb?
It looks like, I'm looking at the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Is it Barbara Stevens?
I think so.
There's a picture of her.
Well, he gave her some of Mrs. Henderson's clothes to wear.
She's kind of she's pretty.
He also kept their dog.
Oh. Yeah, look at her little posh little outfit.
Let me see.
I don't know if I can.
I can't see it.
Oh my god.
I'll look later.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
so
post it.
she's got a posh little outfit because she was probably wearing Mrs. Henderson's clothing
Yeah, she's a cutie.
that he killed.
Did
So-
she know that? Did
No.
she know?
No, I doubt
Oh.
she did. No. So he kept their dog, and then he proceeded to squander all their money at the racetrack over the next year, because that's what he do.
Mm-hmm.
So the clientele of the Onslow Court Hotel is almost exclusively comprised of rich widows, which, good for him. He knew how to scope them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Smart.
Olive Durand Deacon, which Olive is the cutest name ever, was no exception. She was 69 years old in February of 1949 when she met John. He falsely advertised himself as an inventor, and she approached him with her plan to manufacture and sell artificial fingernails.
Smart.
She was a smart lady, and if you see like pictures of her, she just looks like so classy and like
Olive.
like an older dame. Yeah. So he invited her down to the workshop because Why wouldn't like
Why
a
wouldn't
posh,
you?
69-year-old woman want to go down to your workshop, you creep?
Yeah.
Okay. So he invited her down there on the 18th of February, 1949, and once inside, he shot her in the back of the head with Henderson's gun, stripped her of her valuables, including a Persian lamb coat, and put her in the acid bath.
Oh,
I know.
poor lady.
So 2 days later, her friend, Constance Lane, which what's up with these names? They're so fabulous, reported her missing. And Olive's death was only, she only brought John 111 pounds and 10 shillings. So he didn't get a lot of money from her.
Maybe he got her in there under the guise that they were going to talk about her artificial nail.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Thing.
Come into my workshop.
He's
Let
like,
me
"Oh, I
show
have it all
you
laid
my new
out."
prototype.
Yeah, I could see that.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about his capture.
Okay.
Okay. Detectives soon discovered Haigh's record of theft and fraud. So they were, looking into Olive's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't cover up. He didn't make her seem alive as well as he did the others.
Oh, okay.
And so search warrants were obtained for his workshop. And police not only found Haigh's attaché case, which, who doesn't have that? That's just, I love that.
Wait, what do you put in an attaché case?
I believe it's
Like scarves?
it's kind of like a bag for men.
Oh, like a satchel?
Yeah.
Backpack?
And so they found in his attaché case a dry cleaning receipt for Miss Duran Deacon's coat. And also papers referring to the Hendersons and the McSwans. So he didn't cover his tracks very well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was cocky.
Yeah, I was thinking about when I was looking at the pictures of when he actually was captured and being hauled off to jail.
Yeah.
And just the smile on his face, I was like,
Oh, no, he's a creep.
oh, he's a classic
Yeah.
narcissist, thinks he can get away with everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dr. Keith Simpson was the forensic pathologist assigned to the case, and he visited Haigh's workshop in search of evidence of Olive Deacon's death. He searched the outside grounds and found a human gallstone, which also apparently did not dissolve.
That is so random.
I did not mean to.
How would you pick... I was taking a drink right when you said that. How would you pick this up and be like, oh, that appears to be a gallstone?
Well, you're not a forensic pathologist,
that's
but if you
true.
were, you would know.
I guess so.
Yeah, so he said he was actually smart. He said, I was looking for it. Women of Ms. Deacon or Duran Deacon's age and habits, 69 and fairly plump.
Oh.
Okay.
Get gallstones.
Whatever. Are prone to gallstones, which are covered with a fatty substance that could resist the dissolving action of sulfuric acid.
Wow.
Yeah,
He
go
was a
Dr.
good
Simpson.
pathologist.
Okay. He examined the sludge, which is a disgusting word,
Yeah.
and was able to uncover the eroded bones of a left foot. 2 more gallstones were discovered, along with 18 bone fragments, part of a pelvis, and Olive Deacon's dentures.
Oh.
I know, sad, huh? So, a woman by the name of Molly Lefebvre, I'm going to probably say it wrong. She worked with Dr. Simpson on the site, and there's a picture I have of them, looking for clues. It's pretty cool. And she actually I kind of got spun out on her because she has a really interesting story herself. During World War II, she worked as a reporter for a London newspaper, and that's how she met the pathologist, Dr. Keith Simpson. And despite her initial hesitation, she actually became his secretary for almost 5 years. So she was there with him during this case. And she gained a bunch of experience and knowledge during that time and went on to write multiple books. And she was also the first woman ever to work at Southwark. I believe that's how you say it. It's like Southwark, but it's Southwark Mortuary. And she became known as Molly of the Morgue by Scotland Yard detectives.
Oh.
So I really want to know more about Molly of the Morgue because
Okay.
doesn't
I'm
that
writing it
just
down.
sound like the coolest name ever? I'm Molly of the Morgue. I wonder what she did there. I don't even know if there's enough information about her, but I just thought she sounded
Somebody's
really
written
cool.
a book.
So, as you mentioned before, when you look at the pictures of him being escorted by
Oh,
the
he looks like
police,
such a smug piece of shit.
he had such a detached air when he was brought into the Chelsea police station. He smoked, he read a newspaper, and he fell asleep. So for some time, police revealed nothing about what they wanted from him. It took almost 3 hours for them to prepare to question him, which was sufficient time for him to start thinking about what strategy he wanted.
Of course.
In the meantime, they had received a report from the brother of Rose Henderson that Haigh had been the last person to have seen her as well, before she had vanished without letting anyone know that she was leaving. And this confirmed the suspicions of the detectives on the case.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of circling back and seeing that there's a pattern here.
Yeah.
So Haigh immediately began to lie about his visits to Horsham. He arrogantly assumed that the police could not touch him, so he just talked. He was like, yo, dudes, what's up? I'll just tell you. From the nature of the questions, Haigh realized that the police had evidence against him, and after first pretending the coat had belonged to a Mrs. Henderson, he admitted that he had indeed sold Mrs. Duran Deacon's jewelry and that he knew the coat was hers. So then he started admitting things.
Yeah.
The detectives asked how he had acquired her property and what he knew of her whereabouts, and he began to invent a story about blackmail, which quickly fell through. So he tried a few tactics here. However, when left alone with one detective, Inspector Webb, come on, Inspector Webb, that's bomb.
Yeah.
He asked what the chances were of anyone being released from the institution for the criminally insane at Broadmoor.
Oh.
So his wheels were turning.
Yeah.
It betrayed his involvement as well as his strategy to pass himself off as insane. And Inspector Webb, being the smart man that he was, declined to answer the question.
Oh.
So at that point, Haigh laid his cards on the table, still believing himself to be immune to prosecution. If I told the truth, he said. I'm sure he had like this little wheeze. If I told the truth. That's how I hear him.
Oh,
he
but
said,
he's British, though.
Oh. If I told... I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Anyway,
Weasley.
Imagine a Weasley British voice.
Yeah.
If I told you the truth, he said, you would not believe me. It sounds too fantastic for belief. Apparently, thinking that he would be shipped right off to Broadmoor, he waved away Webb's cautioning words and said, I will tell you about it. Mrs. Duran Deacon no longer exists. She has disappeared completely and no trace of her will ever be found again. I have destroyed her with acid. You will find the sludge which remains at Leopold Road. Every trace has gone. Sorry to tell you, John, but every trace has not gone because you're dumb.
Yeah. As
So-
it turns out, you're not as smart as you thought you were.
Exactly. He then showed his arrogance with, how can you prove murder without a body? Well, let them show him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Unfortunately for Haigh, he was actually declared sane and competent to stand trial.
Yeah.
So the trial of John George Haigh opened on July 18th, 1949. And after arrest, he was remanded in custody in Cell 2 of Horsham Police Station when it was in Bartlett Road. Which probably means nothing to us, but if you are British and you're listening to this, maybe you understand.
Yeah. You know what we're talking about.
You must know. He was charged with murder at the nearby courthouse in what is now known as the Old Town Hall, which I wish I knew all this stuff when I was there. I would have gone to see all these stuff.
Yeah.
The Attorney General...
I think there's like a museum about him there.
There is?
Or there's like an exhibit in a museum.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I saw some pictures of the carboys and the...
Oh, yeah. I'm actually
gear.
going to talk about a few places where you can go. The Attorney General, Sir Hartley Shawcross. I just can't get over how great these names are. Later, Lord Shawcross,
Oh.
lest we forget, led the prosecution at Louis Assizes, which I'm sure... Louis Assizes. And urged the jury to reject the prisoner's defense of insanity because he had acted with malice aforethought.
Yes.
Which I love. You have acted with malice aforethought.
That is still a phrase that they use in the justice system
I love
today.
it. Yes. So, Sir David Maxwell Fife, defense attorney, called many witnesses to attest to Haigh's mental state, including Dr. Henry Yellowlees, who claimed Haigh had a paranoid constitution, adding, the absolute callous, cheerful, bland, and almost friendly indifference of the accused to the crimes, which he freely admits having committed, is unique in my experience. We don't care.
That's interesting.
On the second day of the trial, after a mere 13 minutes, Haigh was found guilty and sentenced to death.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't
Good.
take me longer than that.
I know.
I'd be like, if anybody is disagreeing, like, are you kidding?
They probably just hung out for like an additional 12 minutes
Yeah.
to make it look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his response to the verdict was, it's no use crying over spilt milk.
First of all, no one asked you. No one asked you.
They might have asked him.
Like, what is your response to this verdict?
Sometimes they like give you last words, don't they?
That's when they kill you,
Oh,
not when they sentence you.
that's true. So anyway, he was actually led to the gallows by Chief Executioner Albert Pierrepoint on August 10th, 1949 at Wandsworth Prison.
Oh, so how long was he alive? When did they sentence him and when did he get executed? Do we know?
Yes, we do know. But I have to go back in my notes and look. Okay, so the trial started in July 18th, 1840. Okay. Started July 18th, 1949, and he was led to the gallows on August 10th, 1949.
Whoa.
They ain't playing.
No. They hardly even give you a meal.
Wow.
Don't even sit down, bud.
I wonder if he got a last meal.
Your time's up.
Because I feel like here you could just be on death row for like 300 years.
Oh, well, as long as they keep a moratorium on...
But even before that.
Yeah.
Even before that.
I mean, other states are different, but yeah.
Yeah. But still, not 2 months.
No,
Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that is the story of John George Haigh.
Wow.
So I'll tell you a little bit in popular culture. Before he was, hanged, he actually agreed to model for a death mask made by Madame Tussauds. So I don't know if you've ever been to her
Interesting. Yeah, the wax museum.
He left his clothes to Tussauds with the stipulation, don't you love how he can make stipulations, that his waxwork was always kept spotless, with trousers neatly creased, shirt cuffs showing, and hair parted. Okay. You can actually find a picture of his...
so they actually made a wax figure of him?
They did, yeah.
That's bizarre.
Haigh has been compared to the French serial killer Marcel Petiot, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. Petiot? It is possible that Haigh had read about the exploits of another Frenchman, which I talked about, Georges Serret, which is Serrajani. He was a Marseille lawyer who used similar methods in 1925. So I talked a little bit about that before. And on March 25th, 1949, Sylvester Bolam, editor of the Daily Mirror, was jailed for 3 months, and the newspaper's publishers fined £10,000. That's a lot of money. Yeah. For contempt of court in its reports of early proceedings in the case against Haigh. It was said that the reports and photographs described by the Lord Chief Justice as a disgrace to English journalism could have prejudiced Haigh's defense. So they got in trouble for that because they published stuff they shouldn't have.
Interesting.
In 2002, Martin Clunes played Haigh in an ITV drama, A is for Acid, which I watched.
Oh.
And you can find it. It was actually really good. And if you want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube, the whole movie. Huh. Yeah. So it was actually really good. A is for Acid. And one of the subordinates, antagonists in the video game Clock Tower 3, Corroder, is based on and named after this killer.
Interesting.
I've never in my life played Clock Tower 3 Corroder.
No, I don't even know what the hell that is.
Also, if you're into history, there is a place in Cambridge called the Rads. Oh my God, I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna give it a whirl, okay, guys? Take a deep breath with me.
You got it. We believe in you.
Okay, Radzanowicz Library, which is a crime research library.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually really cool. And so every year they have something called Heritage Weekend, which is usually like a 2-day event where you can see parts of Cambridge not usually open to the public. And unfortunately, I missed it, but because of that bitch named COVID, they had it like online, which actually I thought would be really cool because you could do virtual walks and museum tours and go like in the cemetery, but I think it was in September.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, but they have stuff about John Haigh there and like some of his letters and things like that, which I thought was really interesting.
Creepy.
So
I found one of his letters in the pictures.
Oh, you did? No, he's a creep.
It's a letter to Daisy. Oh, maybe it's a letter he wrote on behalf of someone else.
Oh, probably.
Because it says, like, what's up, Daisy?
What's up?
We're going to North Africa. Mr. Haigh has the property now. And you will hear from my brother, Arnold Berlin? Butler? I don't know. Can't read his handwriting that good. I want to thank you for the splendid help you have always... something. And I'm... sure you must, and that's the end of the letter.
He didn't finish?
That's just the end of maybe it's written on the back.
Oh, that's just all you can see online.
Yeah.
Well.
So, I mean, that's an example of his being so diabolical to write letters to people.
Yeah, it's like he was smart but not smart. Like, I feel like if he was smarter, he could have gone on for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But he just got too cocky.
it's narcissism.
Yeah, no, totally a narcissist. He was just a jerk, and I'm glad he was caught. And it's actually too bad that they made a wax of him.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because I just hate that when it's like, oh, you know, serial killers, and then they get to go on in infamy, and it's like, you know the serial killer, but you never know the victims' names.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to just make sure to always say the victims' names, because nobody knows that.
It's important.
Never forget Olive, okay?
Oh, Olive.
She was such a sweet little lady with dentures, and she just wanted to have pretty fingernails, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
Sweet little lady with dentures. Well, they found her dentures.
That's hilarious.
And gallstones.
Gallstones.
I just love that. 69 is slightly plump. I'm like, okay, so...
Everybody.
Hello.
The rest of us.
I know.
At 69.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Exactly. Gallstones for the rest of us.
So anyway, that's your history lesson on John George Haigh.
Well, hey, I think that was a pretty successful first podcast.
Well, I liked it.
I think we did a great job.
Pretty good. I mean, it's funny because when I actually first started researching this, I was like, I'm not going to find enough information. And then I had like so much information.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I want to know more about this and about that. Like Molly, she sounds really interesting. And
Molly of the Morgue. I have it written down.
Yeah.
I think we should look into that.
I think we'll look into that. But anyway.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks so much for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. I wanted to mention all the places you can find us. We're on Twitter at Killer Spirits. We'll post some stuff about the episode today and some pictures. We also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Killer Spirits. And you can find us on Instagram at Killer Spirits Pod.
And don't make the Monaco.
Don't make this drink. It is, unless you really enjoy cherry cough medicine.
Yeah. No. Bye.
Bye.